morning.
Hey, it is day 4. What day is it? I don't know. Day 4.
It's Friday already.
It's Friday. Oh, can we do a little Friday?
Why is it Friday always creeps up?
Like, it's all of a sudden Friday, even though on Thursday we know it's coming.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, it's Friday. But it's amazing on Friday mornings. I always feel like it's a weird thing because we don't even really have weekends anymore. No. Yet Friday and Saturday is still amazing. Right. So when you make your own schedule, you're just like, you're still like, your brain still says it's the weekend. It's really funny.
So it's day 4 of.
Oh, excuse me. I went into
just in case
you'd like to know what day 4. It's day 4 of the universe. No, it's day 4 of this amazing study that we're doing this week. This discussion on creating godly wellness habits and what that means. What that means for you in fighting heart disease, because we want to make these habits happen. We want to change our life. We want to change our habits and get the life that we want and get healthier and have it not be also overwhelming. And God really wants to step in and walk with us in that. He wants to step in and help us do those things the right way, right? Not the fast way, but the way that sticks with us forever, but also impacts people's lives, impacts our life on a deeper level, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. Right. So, God's all about our mental health, by the way. And being that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, I think that it's really fitting that we're doing, these discussions all around getting our minds right. It's if we have our mind right, which is the control center of everything else that we're doing, our bodies and everything, right? Our decisions, our physical processes. If we have our minds right, we're able to do much more, anything that we want, because that's what's in control. And we can work well around the challenges or limitations that our body presents that way, instead of being trapped by those limitations. So these are things that we really want to dive into in these discussions. And this week is no exception, because we are talking about the power of food as fuel today. So I'm really excited about this, because this is something we always want to talk about with our nutrition coaching. And a lot of times with these discussions, because they are faith-based, we don't necessarily dive into the practical, kind of nitty-gritty. And that's a little bit of what we're doing today. So that's really exciting for me. One thing though, I don't want you to miss. In the description, there's going to be a link there to the actual study source that we're using for this in the YouVersion Bible app. So make sure you click that link if you want to follow along on that text study. There is the link there either for mobile or desktop. So you click that link either way. If you're on mobile, it will prompt you to download the YouVersion Bible app if you haven't already. And on desktop, of course, you won't need the app. But either way, it'll take you directly to the study that we're on, so you can follow along.
Right. And if you are new to our broadcast, this is Javie. This is Javie. I'm sorry. Man, I'm just all off today. Anyway, my name's Javie.
I'm Jessica.
And we are with the Underdog Foundation. And here at the Underdog Foundation, what we believe in is faith, character, and action. What I mean by believing in, those are our pillars. Those are our standards. Those are the things that we stand on when it comes to fighting heart disease. I've been fighting heart disease for almost 2 decades now. And what I've found the most, that these 3 things are the things that have led to my success in the battle. Doesn't mean that it's easy. It means those are my go-tos. Those are the things that prop me up when the battle is raging. Mm-hmm. Those are the things that keep me going. My faith, my character, and the action I need to take. This week, we've been talking about that action piece that puts it all together. The things that God has gifted us with, this body, and how we need to take care of it, and how do we need to nurture it, and the responsibility we have. Even though we have heart disease, even though that this battle seems to be winning, the disease seems to be winning, mm-hmm. You still have a responsibility. You still have these standards that God has put in place for us. Your body is a machine. It's still functioning. If you're breathing, it's still functioning. And it may be functioning in a different way, less than it used to. That's okay, because God is giving you a body that will heal itself, that will allow for healing. We just need to start treating it right. And we need to start doing certain things consistently in our lives in order for our bodies to start responding. And that's what we've really been talking about this week. But we are here every Tuesday through Saturday morning talking about what God has for us in our life, to give us clarity, to help us through our daily struggles while we are fighting this disease. And, we start here in the morning with our faith. And that faith leads us to building that character, knowing how to build that character. And maybe you feel like you're a pretty good person of character, but look, we're always building that, just like we're always building our faith. But this all requires some type of action. And so, we talk a lot about our faith and our character piece a lot. And that's why I thought it was really important we did something like this. But even to drive that home more and to kind of bring it all together consistently for the people that listen to us, Jessica and I are launching a new show. We're launching a new show this Saturday. And that new show is going to be highlighting the spirit, the heart of the underdog, what it takes, the action piece. What do we need to do? And bringing in other people that have been through hard times and what they went through, bringing in other professionals and giving their expertise. And of course, we will chime in with our tools and discuss different techniques and different things that you could apply to your life. So this show is going to be, like I said, it's coming out on Saturday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow morning.
That is tomorrow morning. Dang. Anyway.
So we'll be doing this discussion first at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then right afterwards at 9, and normally it'll be 9:30 Pacific Time, but tomorrow we're starting a little early.
But it's gonna be a different tone. It's gonna be
it's different. It's not a study.
What we want to give you is that action piece and motivate you and inspire you to take action in your life and how.
Right.
And it's also not going to be just us speaking. This is going to be our platform in order to bring in guests. And I think we're really excited about it. I hope you guys get excited about it. And we're
really excited about it. And the thing is that for the first couple of shows, it will be us, just to make sure that we have everything, all the bugs out, make sure everything's in line. And then we'll be starting to bring in interviews beginning of June. And we already have all of June lined up. And it's going to be, we have some great stories. We have some experts coming in, and we're actually booking into July now for our guests. And it's just going to be amazing. And it is going to be different than this. It's not a faith-based study. It is a show, a podcast, a discussion all about overcoming all of these really hard obstacles in our health that we all overcome, and all of the great stories behind that. So I'm really excited about that. All right. You ready to jump in?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. This is day 4. And it says the power of food as fuel. It says, how often do you think about food during the day? Depending on everyone raise your hand. Depending on where we are in our fitness journey, our thoughts may be focused on what we can't have. Yeah. If we're trying to cut fat, we typically decrease our carbohydrates and increase our protein intake. If we're trying to build muscle, we increase our carb intake to match our protein level. But we must eat according to our needs. Society has moved away from need-based eating and turned food into a source of entertainment. We have cable channels with 24/7 programming focused on delighting our senses with food. Food is associated with memories of comfort at grandma's house. It can represent love or enhance our holiday celebrations. It can express our deepest condolences or help us through that breakup. Our relationship with food is shaped in our childhood, nurtured in our teen years, and set in stone by the time we reach adulthood. We know our likes, our dislikes. We even have food schedules like Taco Tuesday, popcorn with a movie, or dessert after dinner. But food isn't meant for entertainment. Food is meant to fuel our bodies for the work it's preparing to do. How often do we want what we don't need? When we grasp the concept of food as the source of our needs and not our wants, we can change our mindset from what am I missing out on to how will this meet my needs? I heard that thought you just had. Oh, I heard that thought you just had. No, we don't need that cookie, those cinnamon rolls or whatever. We need that real food, fruit, vegetables, nuts, grains, and the protein of our choice. Those are the items that will fuel our bodies to help us reach our fullest potential. We need fuel to power our bodies for that long distance run or those muscle gains. Practicing this type of self-discipline has other benefits as well. Remember Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? They resolved not only to not defile their bodies by eating the royal food and were blessed spiritually, physically, and intellectually as they honored God with their choices. May we focus our daily prayers on our needs and trust Him for the results. So today's assignment is ask yourself how difficult it is for me to separate my wants from my needs regarding food. What do I need to change about the way that I eat in order to accomplish my goals? All right, so our verse today is Luke 11:3. It says, give us each day the food that we need. Oh,
Man.
I'll tell you what. We used to live in the South, so all I hear when I say that is, I'll tell you what. This is a longer conversation than an hour.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things that sticks out to me and what was just pointed out in this, and there's a lot of things that I want to cover, but it's that our relationship with food is important. Our relationship with food starts very early. It is shaped by our parents, our culture, our culture or our race, our location that we live in.
So much so, we will put the relationship that we have with food ahead of our health.
Oh, all the time.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
We know what's good for us. We know the doctors, not only some doctors are telling us this, but we know that our body needs high amounts of nutrients. So you're fighting the deadliest disease out there. It's killing millions of people. And you are letting your relationship with food get in the way of eating food that is going to give you the nutrients, enough nutrients to battle and fight this disease. You are resisting it. You tell yourself, well, I'm not going to be that person because for some reason you have a picture of who that type of person is. Well, I can't do that. I'm a meat eater. I like my food. I have to have my sweets. I have to have my salty foods. I have to have my fried foods. I have to have all the excuses you make. Those are emotional excuses.
Yeah.
Those are emotional barriers that you're limiting your success with.
Well, and it's not, so you make a good point. It's not just the relationship with food that gets in the way. It's the fact that we create an identity around what we eat.
Yeah.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, about how our identity isn't what we do. Our identity is in Christ. Our character, right, is how we interact with who we are in Christ. It's who we decide what we're going to do, like how we're going to think, right? Who we are is based in Christ, in our faith. Our character is how we determine we're going to be with that. Again, I just want to make this clear, like how we're going to act, what we're going to say, who we're going to be to people. Are we going to be, our values and morals is our character, right?
Right.
Our actions are not who we are. Our actions come from who we are. Okay. We cannot base our identity around the way we eat, the car we drive, these habits. We can't base our whole identity around that. I'm a coffee drinker, so I'm this person. I'm a vegan, or I could never be a vegan. I could never be, whatever. And there's like a whole identity that goes with that for some reason. That just simply isn't the way the world works. There's just a way you eat. It's just food. So why are we wrapping an entire identity and preconceived notions around something like that? We cannot bring ourselves to understand how we could possibly ever be that person instead of eat that food. See what I'm saying? The differentiate. We're saying why are we saying be that person around anything that is just something we do?
Yeah. It's just like it's just like getting up. It's just like waking up. It's like getting up and getting ready for the day, putting on your pants, putting on your clothes, washing your face, brushing
Brushing your
your
teeth.
teeth.
And
Okay.
I would never be that person that brushes my teeth. Like, it's brushing your teeth. It's not being a person.
I'll brush my teeth, but I'm not going to do it with a brush. Oh, an electric tooth, that's for snobs. Electric toothbrush? No way.
I
Right?
really identify ourselves with a lot of things that is misplaced, with an
It sounds
emotional.
silly when we put things down, put it out like that, but eating is just for fuel. That's it. But we attach so many other things
Right.
to food. You know, this types of food, it's fun. It makes me feel better. This is my go-to comfort food. Hey, it's
Mhm.
football season. Hello.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I have to have all my football food. I have to have, my barbecue this time of year.
We attach so many emotions, misplaced emotions, to food, and we don't think through why either.
Mhm.
That's another thing. That's another exercise we give our clients all the time, is talking about discovering your relationship with food and the blockages or the roadblocks in that. What are the barriers that are keeping you from changing because you've attached yourself to an identity with food? Another thing that I love hearing in these communities with heart disease is this whole, well, I'm not going to change the way I eat. I actually want to enjoy my life. So your enjoyment of life is completely wrapped up in your food.
Yeah.
If changing your food means that all the joy of your life and quality of life will greatly decrease.
Right. So how do you, it's all misplaced.
Right.
You're attaching the enjoyment and the fun to the food
Of life
when it
in general.
has nothing to do with the food. It's an object. It is something for your body to consume and to use for fuel for your body. But the thing is that we oftentimes we put the worst things in our body, and our body is starving for
actual nutrients
now, and what it needs. And so what happens? It goes right to your hips, all that sugar, right?
Or your
all that,
your heart.
Yeah, or your heart. And
Yes.
it starts to cause problems. And you're getting a little bit of nutrients. Yeah. That fried chicken it has protein in there, but
somewhere.
What about all the other junk that you're putting in, all the high salt, the fried oil that you dip that thing in? And then if you dip it, if there's a sauce, right?
Yeah.
Sauce is full of calories.
And all the breading and everything.
Okay. So, but the thing is that it was fun preparing, right? Barbecue, maybe cooking with some family members. We love cooking with our kids. Look, it is fun cooking, and it has some enjoyment.
So,
but it's not the food.
But we attach it to the food. So let me explain why we attach it to the food. So number one, it's a sensory experience. Hold on. I want to say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Monica.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes, YouTube is on today. Absolutely. So you can go see us on YouTube. You can go stream there if you'd like. It's a sensory experience. So
I hope it is.
Yeah,
so it's shut off the YouTube.
It's the number one reason why I think, create such a relationship with food is it's sensory. So anytime that sensory is very important to us as humans, because we live in this body that's all around sensory, right? So anytime we things are revolved around touch, high touch, smell, sound, visual stimulation. This is like taste stimulation. It's a sensory stimulation. So we attach enjoyment and entertainment to it instead of needs-based. It's a want-based, right? So it's this, when you attach, think about it. Have you ever had a song or a smell bring an entire experience back for you? Absolutely. So a taste does too. How many times have you eaten a food and it brings an entire experience back for you? Right? Like it said, your grandmother's house, or, a restaurant that you went to on your anniversary or your honeymoon, or like whatever it happens to be, or a certain, vacation destination you went to, or a certain time of year. Why do we only eat Thanksgiving food at Thanksgiving? Because it means it's Thanksgiving. It tastes like Thanksgiving. Okay. It is part of it. I understand there's a lot of change that needs to happen. I understand the idea that we need it to taste a certain way and all these things. So Because I'm the same way. We're the same way. Don't for a minute think that we're acting like, well, this is easy. What are you doing? Like, why can't you just change and just throw away all your sensory experiences? Because who cares? No, we love food. We love meat. We love fried chicken. We love bacon. We love all those things.
I love my football food.
We love it. But I was saying this to somebody the other day. I don't eat this way because I don't like any of that food. I eat this way because I need to. And what I don't miss is him going to the hospital all the time. I miss bacon. Yep. We talk about it sometimes. Really miss bacon. But you know what? I can say I miss bacon, but we always go, but you know what I don't miss? Bacon sending you to the hospital all the time. I don't miss crying in the hospital room. I don't miss wondering if you're going to come home with me. So we have to think about what we talked about this week with the why in the beginning of the week on Tuesday. I know we get really like rough and like tough love about it. Like, hey, it's not about whether you want it or not. Too bad. It's kind of like a suck it up moment. But here's the thing. The reason we talk about suck it up is because we had to suck it up. Because we had to suck it up. Most of the time, I have to say this, most of the time, almost all the time, when we're saying things to you the way we're saying it, it's because that's how I talk to me. That's how he talks to him. That's how we talk to each other. Because it's necessary. Because we're so locked in to our sensory experience with food, our emotional baggage with food, the way that we brought up, our experiences, the who we are in food. We're so locked into that we have to kind of like, it's that friend you have to smack across the face or shake violently because they can't snap out of it. It's like you have to get a big wake-up call sometimes in order to kind of snap yourself out of that way of thinking and go, oh, I do love all of this. However, I love this more. I love this man more. I love our life more. I love being alive together more. Mm-hmm. And so when I look at that salad or the smoothie, or, by the way, we have a lot of food that we love to eat. It's not like it's not enjoyable, but there was a lot of changes that needed to happen.
Exactly.
And that was uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean my whole identity changed.
Right. So the excuse that we hear a lot of times, it's an excuse. Come on, I say it too. Okay. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy my food. The thing is that we can enjoy our food. We can still enjoy our life, but eat healthy, put things in our body healthy. If we could separate the attachment we have with the enjoyment, this particular enjoyment, with the food, if we could separate it and just think about the joy. If you like cooking with your wife, your spouse, your kids, your friends, you like cooking, you get enjoyment out of that. It's not the particular food. It's not that fried food. It's not that fatty food. The smell that you smell, we've talked about how the brain works. Your brain has connected happiness with that smell. When you go to grandma's house and she's baking all the goodies, you've attached that comfort feeling, that enjoyment of being at grandma's house, and that sense of family and everything, that smell is attached to that.
Of course. Yeah.
Now, look, I'm asking you to break that.
Right.
Because the truth is, if the food wasn't there, if she wasn't baking, she still loves you. Yep. She's still your family.
All of the experiences are the same.
Without feeding you cake, right? You still could laugh. You could still do things with one another. So what I'm saying is, these are the things that we've had to try and we continue to do. Mm-hmm. I enjoy having a smoothie after a good workout with my wife. I love working out with my wife. I've attached a new memory. So when I'm making this memory is now attached to us feeling good, getting fit. How many times now we think about, oh, here comes summer. That means we get to go and do this. Not how it used to be. Oh, here comes summer. Here's barbecue season. And I get to have ribs. No, I'm thinking about activity. I'm thinking about how I'm still here and now I get to enjoy doing
Yeah.
these things with my family. Because look at, when you're on that table and your chest it feels like someone's just ripping it apart, and maybe they are going to, and the pain attached to that,
Mhm.
what's going through your mind? You want it to stop, and you're thinking, this might be my last, and you're thinking about all the things that you still want to be able to do.
Not food.
And it's usually not food, is it?
Yep. Nope.
It's usually more time with your spouse, you more time with your kids.
Mhm.
If I had more time with my kids, I would do this, I would do that. I want to go somewhere, I want to do this. Activity. It has, most of the time, it's not food. I'm not laying in the hospital bed in pain and say, you know what I want right now? A cheeseburger. I'm not saying that.
No, I've never heard you say that.
No, I want my family. I want these memories back. I want to do whatever I need to do to survive
Right.
and thrive. So what happened to that person? What happened to those things that you said when you were in that hospital bed that you wanted to do? But
Right.
now you're back home. You smell all those senses.
Yeah.
You drive by that fast food joint, and you're like, you know what I need?
Yeah,
Right?
right. A quick fix.
Right.
I want to jump in a couple of these comments. So, good morning, Gainer, or afternoon.
Good morning, Rita. I see you there.
Yeah. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Rita. So Gainer was saying, never head for the beige buffet. Bright colored foods are normally healthier for you. Tomatoes, fruit, vegetables. Absolutely. In fact, that is one of the things that to know is to stick to the perimeter of the grocery store, they say, right? Because that's where the brightly colored vegetables and fruits are. I think part of the reason why God made these vegetables and fruits so brightly colored is so they were attractive.
Yeah, exactly right. One of
The beige buffet.
I've told this story before, but it's been a long time, so I'm going to say it again. One of the real tough times I had, when I went over to a plant-based eating lifestyle, I had to go on these business trips. And these business trips, the company would take you out. Usually, the team gets together for dinner every night and everything for, just team building and whatever. And so they decide, oh, we're all going out to this place and everything. We all head on to this bus and they take us out to this place. And where do they take us? They take us to a Brazilian steakhouse. And if you've ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse, okay, it's every meat known to man
Ever,
that is just poured with, cooked with and barbecued with all these sugars and all this great stuff. And so I walk in and I knew, well, what am I going to do here? I can't back out. So I could have easily given in. Believe me, there was some battling going on, because when I hit that door and all that smell hit me, all that was like, I could feel my spirit kind of just shaking, because
you can do it.
I could taste that food, but because I had been clean, okay, I've been clean eating for a while.
Yeah,
I could smell the salt. I could smell the sugar and everything, and it wasn't. Yes, I had this attachment of memory of what those would taste like, but the smell that all the salt and all the sugar wasn't as appealing.
Right.
So I focused on that, but the thing I thought was funny. I mean, everybody's sitting at this big table, meat's just, all over the place. They're cooking and all this. And, the Brazilian steakhouse, you just have to turn a little thing and they'll keep just feeding you until you
blow up.
You turn it over to be red, and then, you can't have any more, but seriously blow up. But, it's funny because all these guys were all waiting for their food, and there was no line at the salad bar. And they had do have a really good salad bar down in San Diego, and it had an amazing salad bar. bright foods and fresh fruit and crispy vegetables and all this stuff. So I went there and I just loaded my plate. But then I go back to my table and all these guys are sitting around me and I could see the eyes just following me.
Where is he going?
Right? And then as I'm sitting down and I'm starting to, eat my food. I look up and everybody's like looking at me like I'm an alien. Right.
Right.
What is it that you got
what do you
there?
have and what did they say to you? They have salad here?
Yeah, exactly. And everybody passed right by it in order to get to our table.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, it was tough, but I knew the alternative. I knew, and it really gave me an opportunity to share my story.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of these people I only see once a year. So they didn't know some of the things I had went through that year or even my past. So, they're like, are you on a diet or what? I'm like, no, this is how I eat now. Well, why? Right. And I explained to them, look, this is what I need to do in order to fight my disease. This is what I found is successful. And this is proof. It's not just a theory. For me, it's not a theory, guys. I have been, because I eat this way, it's shown up as on my results, my test results.
Yeah.
I've been able to turn things around that I wasn't able to turn around with just exercise and medication.
Right.
I was able to turn everything around. My doctors noticed, and I was able to get off a lot of my medication. Not all, but a lot of my medication. Yeah. And that had tremendous amount of side effects. So if you want to get rid of those side effects,
diet,
then you need to change your eating lifestyle. You need to find that in whole foods, not processed foods. Look, I know this is hard for a lot of people, but you could start, again, 1% better. Start with the little things.
Well, let me say this. You say, I know it's hard for a lot of people. It's hard for everyone. It was hard for us. This is the complication with this, is that we all say, well, it's hard. And I talked about this yesterday. So's all the other things that we do in life. We do hard things all the time, guys. Don't you do hard things for your kids? Don't you do hard things for other reasons? Aren't there things in your life that you do that are hard all the time, but you're used to doing the hard thing? So you just do it. If I came to you and go, how do you get up and go to work every day? It's so hard. And you're like, what are you talking about? I do it every day. I just do it. Right. That's how I feel about eating this way now. That's how I eat now. But in the beginning, it was hard. When it's something new, it's hard. But it's also really hard, okay, to sit in a hospital room and watch your husband and not know if he's going to die. That's hard. That's the hardest thing I've ever done. So eating a salad in comparison, yeah, well, maybe it's hard for me to not like my food sometimes or to not always have the things that I want. But you know what I always have? What I want, really. What I want is a life with my family, healthy and happy and being able to do the things that we want to do. And whatever price that is, there's always something we got to pay, guys. The price I pay for the life that I want is not having all the foods I ever wanted. Oh, okay. Well, really the reality is none of us can really do that and expect to have a good life because all the things we ever wanted will just kill us. Okay. But the price you pay for eating the food that you wanted is not having the life you want. And so that's the thing, is that it has to be food for fuel and what we need for our body and not what we want, or we won't have a life. We either won't have a life at all because we will die, or we won't have the quality of life to do any of the things that God's calling us to do or that we want to do.
Right.
And by the way, it's not just us. We got to stop thinking like it's just us. Our family won't have the quality of life because we won't be able to tag along. Our kids will have a terrible example of what it is to steward our bodies, to take care of ourselves, to get through hard things, to make excuses, and to have an example of copping out, of backing down, giving up,
Right.
We all want to give up sometimes. I'm not even acting like all of us don't struggle with this. I'm just talking about you have to weigh this. You have to weigh it. So what you were talking about earlier that I wanted to chime in with is this idea that you're replacing one. We've talked about this a lot, replacing one thing for the other. So like how is it that, we just get rid of everything? We just get rid of our habits. We just get rid of our the foods that we love. We just get rid of that stuff. And then what are we left with? Right? It's not necessarily just like that. You have to replace it. So when we talk about changing your neurological, your brain connections, we talked about that. This is a good example. So when you're changing the thought patterns that you have, you're changing people go, well, just think positive. No, it's not like that. You have to actually replace the negative thoughts with positive ones. That's why think positive. It's not just being happy or positive or just thinking better thoughts. It's taking the things captive that you don't want anymore, throwing them out and replacing it. You can't just throw stuff out. You got to replace it with something, or your brain will try to fill that gap with something else that's negative or the same thing. It'll keep grabbing it back. You talk about a lot when you're giving something to God and we pick it back up.
Yeah.
We pick it back up because our hands are empty. So when you give it to God, you're supposed to pick up something in replacement, a positive thing. You're supposed to take from him something positive. He's giving you a trade, okay? Not just, here you go, and now your hands are, what do I do with it's like that, what do I do with my hands moment? What do I do with my hands? Because now they're empty and I don't have anything to hold on to and grasp onto and,
right.
and all this and be busy with in my mind or in my body. So
sometimes we have this thought, this negative thought or this thing that we have attached ourselves to. So that's why we don't want to give it up, because it makes us feel vulnerable. We don't feel ourselves without it. We feel empty without it. Well, we need to fill it.
And to fill the void, right? So when we are doing that in our thoughts, it's the same thing in our habits is what I'm trying to get at. I'm kind of all over the place. Sorry. So I'll clarify. In our mind, when we're saying before, we have to replace the negative thoughts with good ones so that there's something there in replacement. You have to create new habits, new patterns. Same thing goes in our lifestyle. So when we are taking the bad foods out that we don't need to be eating, we need to replace it with good foods, right? We've talked about that. What I'm leading to is our relationship with food has to shift too. Our experiences around food have to shift too. So we have to create, you were talking about this brought me here because you talked about the smoothies. Mm-hmm. So new whole patterns of experiences, sensory experiences with food will shift your relationship with food. You can't just go, I don't get to have Thanksgiving anymore. I don't get to have Super Bowl food anymore. I don't get to have any of the things I want anymore, because all of it's based around food experiences and sensory experiences, right? And smells.
I don't get to have cake on my birthday.
On my birthday. Okay. So.
But you know what I do get to have? My birthday.
Your birthday. Well, and I've made a cake. Yeah. Because I can make healthy cakes.
Exactly.
So we figured out a way to still have our cake and eat it too. Anyway, but
we should market that.
But that's what I mean, is that you're replacing it. Sometimes it's with the exact same food, but with healthier ingredients. Sometimes you're like, I don't have to actually give this up. I just have to give up the things that are poisoning me. I don't have to give up Thanksgiving. I just have to give up all the foods on Thanksgiving that are killing me. Yeah. I just have to give up my trip to the ER on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like I'd have to give up the sodium. I have to give up the sugar, Sure. I mean, that's like saying, I have to give up the drugs. Yeah. Yes, you do.
Yeah. I've worked in the healthcare industry for 25 years. And one of the things that I've noticed and I've seen, the holiday season, people go in to the hospital, the rates of heart attack, the rates of angina go up during the holiday season. And yes, people attribute that to stress, but it's stress and eating. People gorge out, people eat the horrible foods. And so if they are already really close to having some health problems, some a heart attack or whatever, it's the holiday season with all the stress, all the food, mm-hmm. all the drinking, right? That just sends you over the edge, and it all comes together in a perfect storm.
Right.
And you're next thing you know, you're at, you go from the Thanksgiving table to an ER table.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've seen that.
You've seen it
year after year after year. These things happen during that time of year,
right?
And that's, I truly believe that's the reason.
Well, and the thing is really that's what we're saying here today, is that we're just trying to say you got to look at it as meeting the needs of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the needs of our body is that we want to enjoy our food. I get that. That's why I work so hard in our house, and why I teach people to work so hard in their houses, to find ways around that and beat the system, of, well, it's all healthy, so I just have to eat this. Like, I have to eat like a rabbit. I hear that all the time. I have to eat like a rabbit or whatever. Or the idea that you have to eat all vegan, like processed food, which is not health food. We've got to stop talking about diets and fads.
Right.
And labels. Okay? Hear me clearly on this. Eating healthy is not a diet, a fad, or a label. Almost everything out there is based around, the label is based around whatever you're kicking out, like whatever you're eliminating, or a processed food replacement. Think about it. Vegan, keto, paleo, even Mediterranean.
Yeah.
You're either kicking something out, or there's some sort of processed replacement food. That is not feeding your body, giving the fuel to it that it needs. I want you to imagine this. Your car needs supreme unleaded fuel, gas, right? That's what it needs to run. It needs premium to run most efficiently. How are you going to run your car by deciding what you're going to eliminate? How are you going to run your car by giving it a gas replacement?
Yep.
I want you to think about that. You can't do either one of those things to run your car. It needs unleaded gasoline.
Your car could run on less octane, if a lesser fuel. Okay, that isn't as pure. Doesn't have all the things it needs.
Right.
It still could operate, but it's not going to operate with full efficiency. And that's what we're talking about. Our bodies. Our bodies are a machine.
Yep.
Our bodies take the food for energy, processes that food for energy, for our muscles, for our metabolism, everything that we talked about yesterday, that machine that God created in you, it needs all those nutrients that you aren't giving it. You're giving it all the other junk. You're really putting sugar in the tank. And we all know if you go out and put sugar in your tank, you tell me how far you get down the block.
Well, and the thing is that it's not just about that. Think about this. If you were to go eliminate everything from the diet you have right now, whatever you're eating, your nutrition plan, if you were to eliminate everything you shouldn't be eating right now, what do you have left? And that's what I always tell people. Whatever you have left should be what you're feeding. Is that going to heal your body?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we have to eliminate junk food from our diet. But it's not just about that. In fact, we don't even start with that. We start with adding in and flooding our body with micronutrients, micronutrient-rich foods, those bright-colored foods, that fruits and vegetables that your body needs to grow, to rebuild your cells, to heal your body. You have to position your body in order to be able to even heal. It has miraculous abilities to heal and fight against disease. It was built and designed that way by God. God created our bodies to do this. But we're basically, number one, we aren't giving it the tools it needs to do it by not putting in the good food. And number two, we're fighting against it even doing that by putting in the high sugar, high sodium, high damaged fats, fried foods, processed foods that get in the way. It's kind of like little barriers to the work that it needs to do. The more of that food you put in, you're basically just adding toxicity to the process. It's like, okay, you gave me all the tools to do the job, but now you're throwing all these arrows at me and I can't really do the work. It's kind of like, you're just like, okay, here's all the stuff you need. And now I'm going to throw arrows at you while you try to do the work. Does that make sense? Like you're throwing in, fried chicken while you're like, here's a salad and a Coke. And a soda. So good luck with that salad. Your body's like, well, great. You didn't really give me a fighting chance to do something with the salad because now I'm fighting the Coke. Right. So it's like that. And so we just focus on the wrong things. We need to focus on giving our body the tools that it needs and eliminating the things that get in the way of it using that.
Yeah,
to rebuild.
Yeah, I think again about relationships, people attach these social um, aspects to it, right? And I've heard people say that, well, I can't eat that way. My friends would make fun of me.
Right.
My family would disown me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's crazy.
And in some cases, it's true.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah.
Okay. And they have all these horrible thoughts. They put all these things in their minds of why they can't do it. Are those people? Are they at your bedside when you're in the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Are they around when you are in the hospital begging for your life? No, they're not there. They're not
Right.
giving you any type of comfort. They're not helping you recover. Those people are the first people to give you the worst thing that you need, right?
Now, even if they aren't, here's another thing. Maybe you're saying, well, no, those people are with me, but are they you? Are they the ones that have to fight in that bed?
Yeah.
Are they the ones that have to go through heart surgery? Are they the ones that have to fight every single morning to get up and do this all over again? No,
Right.
They're not. They can say whatever they want to say, but they're not the ones that have to fight it. They're not the ones dealing with it.
Yeah.
It is your responsibility to do the things that you need to do for the things that you truly want.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the other side. The people that aren't fighting heart disease, the family members. Maybe you're the spouse,
right,
of someone that has had a heart attack. Maybe you're a friend, a child. Maybe your parent. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you love them, but somehow you don't love them enough to help them with what they're struggling with. You see that you're seeing that they're trying to do all the right things. They're trying to get that exercise done. They're trying to lower their stress. Okay. And maybe you'll go out and walk with them. Maybe you won't, you'll make sure that they're in a padded room that they don't have to experience any type of stress. But when it comes to eating, you're not going there. You're just, nope, I can't do it. How much is it worth when you are alone and they are not there with you? When those people, those memories that you wish you had, they're gone.
Yeah.
Look, if you've never experienced a heart attack, if you never have had anybody in your life that has suddenly had a heart attack and they're gone, it happens that quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like those, people, and I man, it's a horrible thought, but it's a horrible thing. But when accidents happen so quickly and life is taken away, it's just as quick.
Yeah.
How important is your stance on food? How important is it that, I'm not going to change? I understand that they have changed, but no, we'll just have to have
separate dinners. Yeah.
Do you realize how hard it is on that person when they don't feel like they're supported? That they are the only ones in this house
yeah.
that are really fighting this, that they don't have their own family alongside them, rallying behind them.
I want to say this, and then we'll leave you with this. Why is it that we treat food differently than everything else? Everything. Somehow we put it in a different category on all levels. We talk about all of the analogies all the time, a lot. If a family member of yours, a spouse or a child or something, or a parent, was to come down with, something major like heart disease, but different, like cancer. Let's say they had cancer and they have to have a constant, barrage of medications and things like that. And they needed you to be there to help administer all of that. Like you needed to be there to do all these things with them. You're now caring for your spouse or for your parent, right? You show up for that, to administer all of their medication, right? To walk alongside them because they're going through this thing where they need a lot of care. Food with disease in general, but also with heart disease specifically, is part of care.
Yeah.
It's the first thing our doctors say. It's the first thing nutritionists say, dietitians say, the world says. We know we have to eat better. And it maybe isn't the cause of your heart attack. Maybe you have a different type of heart disease. Maybe you had a heart attack from stress. Okay. I understand that. But what we eat, what we give our bodies to heal our bodies, whether food caused the problem or not, cancer included, we need to feed our body everything it needs to do the fighting and the working it needs to do to rebuild and to keep us alive. Okay. So that's care. That's part of care, no matter what you're fighting. So why is it that we'll show up for a family member with something as like, well, our medication, well, our kids, well, we need to give them medication. We need to give them the therapy that they need. We're all in with all of the like management and care and therapy, but food is the same, if not super, like just, it's more important. It's super important because this is the thing that's sustaining us at all times. This is our life force, right? With physically speaking. So when we don't come alongside this person, and especially when we refuse to change in a way that we're like, I'm going to keep going in whatever unhealthy direction I'm going to go in, so that you have that around you all the time while you're trying to be like this, that you may as well have a cancer patient in your house that you're married to and say, you're on your own. You do your own medication, buddy. Like, cool, you got cancer, but I got to live my life. That's what you're saying. When you say you got heart disease, good luck with that. I'm going to eat the way I'm going to eat because nobody told me I've got to eat better.
Right.
Nobody told me I have to come alongside you. And yes, they did. You vowed. What are you talking about? Just because it's hard doesn't mean you can't. And just because it's hard doesn't mean you're not supposed to do it. We do hard things all the time. It is very hard for us to eat this way sometimes. Yep. We have days where we are like, we're going to compromise. We're going to do it. And then, it's like, but we got to think about the things that are most important. We have had days where we've compromised. And you know what? We pay for it. We feel like absolute trash for like 2 days. And we're like, that's stupid. What are we doing? Why are we doing that? Okay. We don't have cheat days. We have, I'm going to go throw myself off a cliff because I'm so sick days because I can't believe I ate that. Yeah, right. It's not a cheat day. It's a, wow, I was weak and compromised and I paid for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not about it being easy. It is hard, but it's about it being worth it. It's about it being necessary. It's about it being the thing that we should do. We do a lot of hard things because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. And we have to teach our families and our kids to do this same thing. I mean, don't you want your kids to grow up and be the kind of spouse that does that for their spouse?
Yeah. The thing is like you opened with, this is a long conversation.
Yeah, I could keep going.
I mean, I have have so many other things I want to say, but just because we don't have the time.
Right. And I want to just end with today's assignment.
Yeah. And I just want to say one more thing before you do that.
No, go ahead.
Look, if your life has been just feeling stuck, you can't seem to kind of break out of it. And it's just, you're stuck in your routines and things. Maybe you've come out of the hospital and you're like, well, this is my life. I think you're being given an opportunity with what we're talking about. If you think about what God is saying to us, what God has outlined to us and what we're showing. I mean, the story in the Bible and where they resisted the royal food. And I think of royal food. For some reason, I think of that.
Like medieval times.
Yeah. I mean, it's just forge out, right?
Yeah.
They resisted that because they could have had all that food. They resisted that.
Right.
But the thing is that you've been given a tremendous opportunity to discover something new, a whole new life.
Yeah.
All new things, all new memories. Those new things, those new memories are attached to new relationships, new friends, new opportunity. This is all new. No matter where you are in your life, you have an opportunity here to discover a whole new level of life. And this is what we're talking about, where God wants for you to discover that new life, for you to step into, to get rid of the past, get rid of what you think you're defined by. You're not defined by all that junk food.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Okay. Start defining your life with new things, with new habits, new fitness habits, new nutritional habits, new habits of thought. how we're talking about the things that we land in our mind, those negative thoughts, push them out, replace them with good things. This is all new stuff that we get to discover every day.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be this dredging through life.
Right.
Okay.
It's more about discovery.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's one of the thoughts I really want to leave you with. This is an opportunity. This is a good thing, guys. And I think we let our emotions, again,
Yeah.
get in the way of what really is out there, the opportunity that's right in front of us.
What if God's saving our lives by putting heart disease in our path so that we'll have a wake-up call and start doing the things that we should have been doing all along?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know that was
true
for me.
For us, and it's true for a lot of people we talk to.
Changed my life. Anyway.
So today's assignment is ask yourself how difficult it is for me to separate my wants from my needs regarding food. And what do I need to change about the way I eat in order to accomplish my goals?
Write this down, guys.
And this goes with the stuff we said on Monday or Tuesday, which is what are your goals? What is it that you want? And why do you want those things? And I would say even add to this on the ask yourself how difficult it is to separate your wants from your needs regarding food. But why? Why is it difficult? And really dig into what is it that's stopping you from making the changes with food? What is so scary? What is it that you feel is too painful to change? But I want you to ask yourself this question. When you're making all these goals, what if you don't change anything?
Yeah.
What happens then? That should be the reason you change.
Yeah, I think about if I didn't change.
Well, you wouldn't be here. If I was
stubborn enough and I didn't change, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, you wouldn't be here. No, guaranteed. Right? Because you've narrowly missed it just doing everything you're supposed to do. So we love you. We love you guys so much.
Look, I know today was kind of like, all right.
But that's how we have to kind of talk to ourselves too. And there's sometimes
so many people, and we feel so passionately about it, guys, because we run into so many people that are really fighting this battle.
Yeah.
Everything we discussed today, these are battles that go on in everybody's home that is fighting this disease.
Yeah.
Right. It is prevalent. It is epidemic. It is
epidemic level.
Yeah.
And it goes along with yesterday too, with the stewardship. And it's all about God wants us us ultimately. He wants this for us. So we are very passionate about this because it's doable. We have control over this. Of all the things we don't have control over that we're angry about that we can't control, this is it. This is what we can control. So why aren't we diving into the things we have all the control over and desperately doing that?
Yeah.
So
anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in and just sticking with us. All right. And I really hope you guys got something out of today. If you did, please hit like. Please share this with your friends and family.
Absolutely.
Our mission here is to help as many people fighting this as possible.
Absolutely.
So the more you share it, the more we grow, the more people that God is able to help.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is we have to do this as a community. We can't do this alone. We need your help to share this so that people can get the help that they need. It's not in front of everybody. And that's our goal, is to get it in front of everyone.
Yeah. And so remember, stay tuned tomorrow. We're still here on Saturday. We're going to be doing this. We're still going to be doing our discussion on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to go right into our new show.
Yes, absolutely. So that's at 8:00 in the morning Pacific Standard Time for our discussion around this. And then at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, we are going to do our new show.
All right.
So stay tuned and we'll see you tomorrow. God bless.
Bye, guys.